But speaking of like where the game is headed and everything, I mean, a lot of talk with the PGA Tour. I'd say a lot of criticism as well about somewhat becoming a closed shop. I mean, all these signature events, like you said, the rewards for the top players are great, but the playing opportunities seem like they're getting less and less for the guys up and coming.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I don't know what the future holds for the tour. It just seems like it's turning much into a tennis model where you're going to have, 8 to 12 events a year that really matter, and the rest of it, there will be a tour that exists, but if you're not a regular fan, you're not going to really know what's going on. And there's an opportunity for guys to make a living in those events, but as far as being relevant, like it's going to be harder and harder to have that long career that you've seen in the past. You're going to have your generational talents that are going to do it, but I think careers get shorter. Guys make more money, they move on and go do something else, and somehow they need to get the turnover rate that matches the exit rate, and it could be sustainable. I don't love it, but if that's what the business model says that they need to be doing to grow the game of golf, then that's what they got to do.
How about for rookies coming up? I mean, it was already incredibly hard. That first year on tour, like if you could just keep your card, play your way on, then you get to pick your schedule, all this stuff. Now for the rookies coming on, it's like, by the way, you're not getting any of the signature events. So you're already way behind all those guys. They're shrinking the number of events. They're shrinking the number of cards. Like for a rookie coming on right now, I mean, how brutal is it? How are you going to keep these kids that are obviously good enough to get there, but they don't even really it's not a fair shot to stay on almost. It
is brutal. I guess the only thing that they have going for them is the way that they earn their way back to or onto the tour. You have a lot of confidence, so they're filled up with piss and vinegar and ready to go and think like, oh man, I just had this great year on the Korn Ferry Tour. I can beat anyone. And they have that going for them, but it is an uphill battle, and everything in life's an uphill battle. Like you got to go earn it. And I guess if they have success, like they really did earn it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like nothing should be given to you, but with these signature events, like if you finish in the top 50, you're good for the entire year. I mean, we saw this year, only one guy that was in the top 50 last year finished outside the top 100 that wasn't injured, and that was Matthew Pavon, who just had a really bad year. Like you really got to mess up to lose your card, and it's really hard not to honestly finish in the top 70 and guarantee yourself in the playoffs. But with the signature events, like where are you on those? Because him and I talk all the time. Like the juice for Thursday and Friday is gone with 70 people, no cut. As a player who has obviously played in a number of these events, where do you stand on that? Would you rather see more people in the field with a cut?
Yeah, I think that's an integral part of the game. Like making a cut, there's a good feeling there. There's a sense of accomplishment, and that needs to happen in the game. I wouldn't. Maybe they don't want to do full fields, but everyone that kept their card the year before on the PGA Tour is exempt. Plus, 10 guys that can earn, and let's do a 110-man field, and let's have a cut. And it opens up opportunity. It creates less of a divide amongst them on the money list and the points list, and it allows people to earn their way into the event a little bit easier.
What do you think about, like, I would have less issue with the new structure of it and just how difficult it is, like I said, for the rookies and stuff. If you're a full card-carrying member of the PGA Tour, if everyone got access to the same events and you got the same schedule, then it's really like we're all starting at zero here. These guys don't have a huge leg up playing in the signature events. I'd have way less of an issue with it if it's kind of like you're all on the level playing field starting off.
I agree. Like, let's make it everyone start to the same starting line.
And plays the same events for exactly. the same points and stuff.
Especially if it's a season-long race. Like, let everybody race. Yeah. You're not letting everybody run now.
What was it? One rookie this year off Korn Ferry made it to the...
One Korn Ferry Tour guy.
Potgieter, right? And he won and finished second?
Yeah, I believe so. Made it to
the playoffs. He's the only one.
I wouldn't be opposed to them going way back. And, if you kept your card the year before, or maybe top 70, you're in every event, and then 70 to 100, you get the option to Monday qualify with the Korn Ferry guys. There's 50 spots, whatever, that fills the rest of the fields. Mm-hmm. And let's just do qualifiers every week, and you get to earn your way into the events, and you play great. You get in a good run, you'll play in every event. And there's still a lot of opportunity, and you can have the Monday qualifiers or the qualifiers be a closed shop. And so it's only coming from, a certain pool that has been earned.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And we love watching the best play against the best. There's no doubt about that. But what I feel like drives ratings and what people love to see is when the best are going against the lesser name, the underdog. And with these signature events, I feel like we lose so much of that. Like I always used Phoenix Open a few years ago, and Sahith Theegala was a rookie, and no one really knew who he was unless you were a big-time golf fan. And he was in the mix with Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay. And the whole place seemed like they were rooting for Sahith.
Yeah.
Because it's a great story. And I feel like we lose a lot of those now because of the way the PGA Tour is headed.
I agree. Like going back to the tennis model thing, you don't see the underdog a lot in the majors, and so you're seeing the same guys at the top of the leaderboard every week. And because the PGA Tour or because golf is so deep, and players are so good now, like anyone can win at any time as long as you're in the field, and you just got to be given that opportunity.
Do you think a lot of this? Obviously, I think we would agree the changes have made because of LIV, but do you think they might have panicked a little bit and made some changes without really sitting down and probably seeing what's best for the entire tour instead of just the top players to make sure they don't go to LIV?
Yeah, I think it was very reactionary to a threat. And, I guess everyone reacts differently when their job or their lives are threatened. So I can't fault them for that. I don't think anyone was like, we're going to make this change to make the tour worse. They were trying to make it better, but I wouldn't be surprised in a few years if we go back to something similar to where it was and find some normalcy in the game. It's a bummer that the changes were so drastic so quickly. And it's a bummer that the majority of the fans probably can't follow what the rules are or what the qualifications are because of all the changes that have happened. But no doubt it was reactionary and a very emotional decision-making time for the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been hard to get to the PGA Tour, and now with the way things are going, I mean, Stan, think of how different it would be right now. If you were turning pro right now, your same college career where you were a stud, you were an NCAA champion, he won USAM, we all turned pro around the same time. Think how different it is right now in terms of opportunities for those kids today versus what we were like 2008.
Well, I mean, I would argue that Colt would have more opportunities, or I would have more opportunities because of the PGA Tour U and things like that. So it's more open in that sense that there's more pathway to the PGA, or there's more pathways to the PGA Tour. I notice there's a lot more amateurs getting starts on the PGA Tour than there's ever been. And that comes from, I think, NIL and these agencies that run events. They're dangling these starts in front of these kids. Like, here, sign with us. We'll be your NIL agent, and we can get you all these starts. And good for these agencies for doing that. But as a whole, I think it's much harder. Yeah. And the gentleman that won in Utah,
Michael Brennan.
Yeah, that's a great story. He's obviously an amazing talent and capable of accomplishing a lot in the game, and his talent had to be suppressed for a few years to get to where he's at.
Yeah, PGA Tour, I'm a huge fan of it. I think you should let your star college kid, there's no draft or anything. So but giving them a chance, and obviously that was a reaction to LIV too. These are the guys they're going to want. Let's make sure that they get an opportunity. But outside of that, the rest of the golfing world, it's just kind of like you said, how can you make it till you make it? I guess it just seems like there's nowhere to go. I think there's people just be chasing it way less going forward because they can't.
Well, and think about if this happened in another sport. I mean, the demographic that plays golf is the haves, and they don't necessarily need the money. So when money's dangled, not everyone's going to bite. And if they did this in football, if the Saudis tried to take over football, where a lot of guys don't come from means, and I think the percentage of people that would leave to go play in the different league would have been way higher. So they changed golf tremendously, and probably percentage-wise, it's less than it would have been in any other sport.
It's interesting. Going back to what you said earlier, I do think we both got screwed, though. Right. Bad wave again.